Hello and welcome back to 8:30 p.m. football. United 3, Fulham 2 on the night in what was a beautiful, beautiful performance from so many people. Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Cunha, who was quiet most of the game but delivered an absolutely beautiful goal. Sesko came on, hit the post with his first shot on target, and then eventually scored what was a decisive goal. While, obviously, there was a lot to be said between Cunha and Sesko's goal, but I feel like this is the kind of performance that would make a fairly rational United fan like me over the last couple of games who's tried to keep calm in the middle of all that raging excitement after the City and the Arsenal game. This is exactly the kind of game that'll make me believe that United are well and truly back. I mean, this is the stuff of dreams, honestly. Sesko coming in as a late substitute, delivering in Fergie time, your number 9 scoring a beautiful goal to secure a win for you at Old Trafford against a side which has, by the way, won like 5 or 6 in their last 9 games, just lost one. If you probably review all of United's games of the last 3 or 4 managers, the one common trend is that United delivers an incredible victory against the likes of City, Arsenal, whatever top tier team, and then comes crashing down. Just everything. The house entirely crumbles against a mid-table opposition like Brighton, Fulham, Brentford. We've been there one too many times in the past. This is a story. This is a song we've heard so many times that as a United fan, you just have to have a sinking feeling before the Fulham game. And when it went to 2-2, you knew this was. It was meant to be. Come on. Morgan Rogers scoring an absolute worldie, following it up with a great goal. Keenan Dewsbury Hall scoring an incredible goal when Everton did not have any of the ball and were down to 10 men. Jaden Anthony scoring, in fact, scoring twice across 2 games against United to bring Burnley back into the game. We have seen this story so many times. And when Fulham's latest signing, the Brazilian, scored a goal that any Brazilian would, by the way, be extremely proud of, you just knew that the writing was on the wall. United had their first draw under Carrick. The momentum was probably shifting. If anything, we would probably fight for keeping the draw. But Carrick does not do that. Not on his watch. This guy has had Dorgu scoring absolute worldies. Bruno Fernandes is at the peak of his performance. Casemiro with a beautiful assist, a no-look assist, by the way, following up what was a pitch perfect finish to a Bruno Fernandes cross to, by the way, give United the lead. There is something that is very different about this United squad, and I do not believe this is just manager's bounce. Look, obviously the atmosphere, everything changes when a new person is brought in. In case we've said this in the past, in case there was some negativity about Amorim, that goes straight out of the window. People like Kobe Mainu are jumping again, playing 90 minutes for 3 consecutive games. There is definitely a positive vibe, but to come out and deliver performances like that, incredible mentality from Sesko. He's probably extremely low on confidence. The manager has been very vocal about how he's been working very hard, how he's been struggling off late, no doubt. But to actually come on, hit the post with their first shot, he's got to be thinking, come on, what have I done wrong to not have that go in? And then Bruno Fernandes makes that incredible run down the right. The ball was probably not the best, but he took the initiative, delivered something into the box, found his number 9, who by the way had the composure to turn very calmly and then put it in a very small sliver of net that was available to him. Just unbelievable. Not the kind of United we used to seeing, especially not against a mid-table opposition. We're going to talk about players individually, but this game has me truly believing that United's season is far from over. A top 3 finish, especially with Aston Villa losing to 10-man Brentford and City drawing the way they did after being 2 goals up against Tottenham, who by the way are making a very weird case for this season with all their away wins and home draws and losses this season. Uh, it's absolutely incredible. Not if you're a Chelsea fan. After the kind of win they delivered against West Ham, you've got to feel that they were destined to enter the top 4 again after I think 3 games, but not on Chesko, not on Carrick's watch. This was one of the games of the season for me, honestly. Not because United were excellent. I think that was City, not this game or the Arsenal game. Both games, United has had their slices of luck, but to actually score a winner against oppositions that were growing into the game after being 2-1 up and then conceding and then scoring the winner, that takes elite mentality. That takes something that United have been lacking for almost all of this season. Let's talk about the usual suspects. This season, Bruno Fernandes has absolutely crushed it. 2 assists again, which now takes him to 12 assists for the season. The most for any player in the Premier League. Probably the most chances that he's created in his entire time at United. He's already matched his top assist tally that he had in 2020-21. He has created the highest number of chances in all of the top five leagues this season. This guy is literally a haymaker. This guy is a miracle man for United. This guy creates chances out of nothing. So many of our draws could have been losses if not for him. So many of our wins could have been draws or losses if not for him. Yesterday was a prime example. The first ball in for Casemiro, who we are going to come to in a second, because that guy is again reaching the pinnacle of his career, somewhere near that. Not the Champions League days, I'm not going to go there. But Bruno Fernandes, the composure to deliver an excellent cross after being denied a penalty. He's got to be thinking, he's absolutely going to be thinking, I'm going to be delivering from the spot, getting a goal. And then to have that sort of sinking gut feeling that, it's only a free kick, Cuenca was slightly outside the box, but still to deliver an excellent delivery into the box. And then right towards the end of the game, when again you've been in the lead throughout, and then you have that moment where you've just conceded and then everyone believes it's a draw. But to go out there, basically put something into the box and then have your striker score a goal. This is absolute elite mentality. He's not had the best of games in terms of retaining possession, in terms of making those critical passes throughout, but he constantly produces output in basically in terms of a goal or an assist every single game, which is essentially what matters. This guy is off the charts. He has been off the charts for a while, and he's one of the best midfielders in the world, probably the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League, bar none. Speaking of midfielders, more on the defensive side, Casemiro, man, this guy has earned everything he's had to in his career. He's got Champions Leagues, he's got the money, he's got the prestige, he's got everything. And now that he's announced that he's going to leave United, he is somehow still delivering at the top level, unlike any other player. Rose above everyone. He wanted that goal more than anyone else. He had that hunger. He had that desire, that passion to score, and he did. And what a goal it was, by the way. It basically found the corner of the net. The keeper had absolutely no chance. That was not a scramble. There was no way that was going out. Casemiro, the moment you saw him rise, you knew it was going in. This guy is brilliant. He's been brilliant for United this season. And what about the second one? I feel like that's going to go a little underrated. But if you watch in slow motion, you'll realize it was a no-look pass from Casemiro. And while Cunha was open, he was absolutely empty. That was very poor from Fulham defensively. Casemiro found him in a typical, beautiful Casemiro-esque fashion, breaking the line, finding a no-look pass. What style, what panache, what class! Like, this guy is, again, like, you've just gotta tip your hat to him and feel like if he can deliver like this with Bruno Fernandes for the rest of the season, uh, A, we're gonna miss him a lot next season, and B, we are going to play in Europe again next season. Cunha had a fairly average game, not much to show for, but the fact that he had one chance, one very good chance, and he absolutely banged it at the back of the net, had to find that angle, had to basically scorch it in. There's no way he could have probably scored far post, and he did it. This is what Cunha does. The celebration came out again. He scored two in his last two games, an assist and two goals in his last three. He has been delivering. He's been finding form again. And again, he's a player who's had to play multiple roles. He's had to come off the bench a few times. He's now started in the absence of Dorgu. There's a lot going on in this United side, and people just somehow come off and deliver. Benjamin Sesko, what an incredible confidence boosting goal this is for him. He's obviously had his struggles over the last few days, or the last few weeks, in fact, after signing for United. But that goal was absolutely clinical. Not the kind, again, we've seen from United number 9s in the past. The last good number 9 I probably remember feeling like extremely confident in was Edinson Cavani, a goal that he would be proud of. And Sesko obviously rising above everyone, hitting the bar with his first touch of the game and then scoring an absolutely critical goal for United and their chances in basically to make it to Europe this season. This is incredible. Speaking about Casemiro, just for one more minute, I feel like taking him off maybe was not the best decision. Carrick's substitutions, the people he's brought on, and the sort of times that he's brought them on has yielded great returns. Cunha, for example, against City, delivered that assist right towards the end. Today, again, you bring on Sesko, he delivers because Mbumo was fairly out of this game for most of the time. Had like one shot, one good shot, which obviously it obviously went by in the first half. But apart from that, not a lot to show for. But I feel like this was a game dominated by Brazilians. Cunha, Casemiro, Kevin, they all came to the fore. Bruno was absolutely out of this world. Elite mentality from Manchester United. Let's address the one thorn in their side which has stayed throughout, and which is you never feel secure when United has a lead somehow. It's usually a single goal when you're like 1-0 up, you're like 2-1 up, they concede the second one, and they sort of Is I mean, it just feels inevitable with United that they will eventually concede. They somehow draw pressure. They fall back after scoring. The one exception obviously was City, and just like the game against Arsenal here as well, I think the first goal after Cuenca's goal was ruled out. I mean, I don't think a lot of people were surprised because it felt like the goal was coming. And the fact that it did from a set piece again just outlines the fact that United is pretty poor at defending set pieces. No one was really surprised. People were hoping you'd go on and get the next one. But that goal was ruled offside. And then one defensive error from Harry Maguire. Suddenly they have a penalty, which was, by the way, incredible. Raúl Jiménez is getting old, but his penalty did not show that. Absolute banger, top left corner. Lamens had no way, in fact, no keeper had no way of saving that. Uh, and then again, Fulham just kept building the pressure, and I mean, you just look at that and you feel like you cannot wear off this Fulham attack for another 10 minutes. They didn't have a lot to offer, no critical shots, no shots even, I feel like. But the fact that they were just keeping most of the ball, drawing around, knocking on the door, you feel like they're gonna break the door down at some point or the other. United needs to keep their calm, play it as if they're like 4 goals up and they could like just hit a few more, like they did against City essentially. But they did not do that, and I feel like a big part of that was actually subbing off Casemiro. I was not a big fan of that. We were we were pretty helpless defensively. Again, there's not a lot wrong that happened with the Kevin goal. He was just left free in a position where you'd not expect him to shoot and score, but he did. And again, the same examples, much like Dewsbury Hall, much like Jaden Anthony, much like Morgan Rogers before him, and so many others before them have done. He came up with the banger, and Fulham equalized from being 2 goals down. Again, not closing down players, just letting them dwell on the ball for far too much, giving them too much respect, not playing your natural game. All of these things add up, and the pressure eventually pays off. And Fulham honestly would have felt like they deserved a draw. The fact that in these games, when we are maybe not the better side through the 90 minutes, very convincingly, until United brought back Fergie time from the 2010s, this is absolute peak mentality. I think, what, 2.5 minutes after Kevin scored a banger, after everyone was probably low, Old Trafford was not at its finest. Uh, Sesko came up with something out of this world, and that is what United need to keep doing while addressing the defensive flaws, which almost cost us a game, which almost cost us a top four position at least today. Tottenham to come up next. Tottenham is incidentally the first game that I started on this channel. There's a lot to say for what we did against Tottenham as well, scoring the last minute. Hopefully, this one is a more convincing game. Tottenham's home record is absolutely pathetic. United will go to Tottenham to play their next game next weekend. A win again. I mean, as a United fan, you have to believe, you have to back this United side to win against Tottenham now that we are in this peak touch in this prime form that we've suddenly found out of nowhere. Michael Carrick is doing an excellent job. His boys are definitely supporting him with the kind of performances that they have in the last 3 games. And we're going to end this video just the way we started, by believing after so long that United is well and truly back and definitely poised to make it to top 4 and a spot in Europe. That's it from me today. See you again next time for the United Tottenham game.